All right, daily question for you. If you were to get a tattoo of something book affiliated from a book, like a bookish tattoo, it could even just be a tattoo of a book, what would you get and where?
Ooh, okay.
Is the where the part that throws you off?
A little bit.
Weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't really know where I would want to put a tattoo. Really.
Okay.
My brain is a little too literal. So it can't just be like, I'm going to create a tattoo from a book that I've read, but more about tattoos in books that I've read.
Oh, okay. That works too.
So the first one that I think is such a cool tattoo, and at least in the movie they did a really great job with it, is in the book Divergent.
Okay.
And it's the character whose name is Four.
Yep.
And he has this huge back tattoo of the four different factions. Yep. And the location for that tattoo would be on your back, actually, not mine, because I want to see it.
So you're not getting the tattoo.
No.
You're getting me a tattoo that you can look at.
Yes, because I actually really struggle with back tattoos because I'm not going to see it very
that's
often,
fair.
if at all.
Yeah.
So like if I want a back tattoo, I actually want it to be on the person that I'm looking at.
Well, I mean, that's fair.
And you have a nice looking back. So I think you'd be able to house that tattoo very well.
I'll take that compliment.
Yeah. And then I had two other ones that I thought of, and one of them is a little bit creative. One of them is not. But there was this book I read this summer. I believe it's called Rebel Summer.
Okay.
And it's by Cindy Steele. And in it, it's just a temporary tattoo in the book.
Okay.
But it's a book with flowers coming out of it. And it's just like a representation of the main character and her reading.
Yeah.
And I do a lot of reading, so I'll put that one on my forearm or something.
Yeah.
And then the last one I thought of is a creative one that isn't in another book, but I don't know if this exists, and I kind of doubt it does unless it's like, I don't know, maybe they have like blue light tattoos or something now, but I would almost want to get like a Marauders map from Harry Potter, but
That's cool.
where it disappears.
Heck yeah.
Or it just says, I solemnly swear that I'm up to no good.
Yeah.
And then you just like shine a light on it and that appears. Something like that.
They do have some, like, I think it's UV activating tattoo ink or something like that, where you can basically activate it, turn it on or off.
That's cool.
Which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's good to put in your body, but
probably not.
Probably not. Also great to put ink in your body anyways, but whatever.
We say as we both have tattoos and you literally have a fresh one. So what about you?
Yeah, I think for me, there's two solid ones that I think I would maybe actually go for. So one of them is, I think it would be really cool to do like a full arm sleeve or something big that's just Romans 18 or Romans 8 all the way around, because it's like a really meaty piece of theology. But to do it in like a old Catholic script like the monks would have, and with decorative letters and stuff like that. And like,
see, I feel like choosing something from the Bible is
a
cheat though,
it
because I don't really count the Bible as a book.
Yeah. So then the other one is a crazy obscure element from The Hobbit.
Ooh.
And it is essentially, it's not actually a Nordic rune, but it looks very similar to one. And it's essentially an F with upward facing arms. And it's the rune that Gandalf carves into Bilbo's door to let the dwarves know that this is where their thief is.
Oh.
And it's like the start of the adventure.
Interesting.
And so, because I think for me, a lot of...
You want to be labeled as a thief?
No. Yeah, of course. I think for me, there's such a hipster approach to especially books that I would want the tattoo to be a sort of a, if you know, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Marauders map is a good example of that too. It's cool on its own, but then if you know where it's from, it's way cool. And there's going to be a lot of people who don't.
Yeah.
But I think that one, I think there's a lot of people who have read The Hobbit and are into Lord of the Rings that probably wouldn't even recognize that symbol as that symbol. So it's maybe too obscure. In the past 2 years, I think, we've been doing more Kindle books. And so a lot of e-reading. And so we don't have the physical books. I'm curious for you. Do you feel the same weight that I feel, that if I've read the ebook, I want the physical book on my shelf as a memento of having done that book, if it's a good one.
I don't know. I feel like maybe that would only work for me if it was a book I wanted to read again. Like I'd only want it on my shelf if I would actually want to read it a second time, or if I would want to share it with somebody. Like, because we do honestly loan out a lot of our books. And so if it constitutes like I would love to share this with my friends, then I'd maybe purchase a copy.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with honestly just tracking it on Goodreads, because I've read like over 50 books this year so far, and our shelves cannot fit 50 more books.
We tried a competition at the beginning of this year, and I'm so gonna lose. It was who would have the highest page count, and I think I'm losing on every metric.
Really?
I have less books than you. I'm absolutely positive I still have less pages than you, even though my books sometimes are like 1,300 pages.
Yeah.
Because I've been looking at yours because it bothers me. And many
Trevor's
of your books,
really in a competition by himself.
I am, and I'm losing. A lot of your books are still like 350 page books.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't even think if I went to word count, I would be winning, because I've then opened your books to see if, well, maybe the font's really big. It's the same as mine. So I'm just losing on every front in
Which
our
is
competition.
shocking, because when we started this year, you were cranking through books. I mean, you'd be reading like 3 or 4 at a time, and you were really into like theology books in January. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm like, the good thing is that regardless of the competition, I like to read.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I'm going to kind of try in this competition, but I'm also like just going to read.
Well,
like
I think
I
you're also
do.
reading a lot more pleasure books than I am.
Yeah.
And maybe that's my downfall.
Because my handful of nonfiction books that I have read this year have taken me forever to get through.
Yeah.
And I've started reading nonfiction right before I go to bed, which is helpful to like actually crank through the book a little bit more. But honestly, and I mean, there's going to be naysayers out there, but I actually just put a sticker on my water bottle that says audiobooks count as reading. And I crank through more books because of my 20-minute commute.
Yeah.
Where nobody's in the car with me. I can listen on I think I'm up to 1.85 speed. I can't quite do 2 time.
Yeah.
And I know the 0.85 is a weird number, but it works for me. And I can just crank through books, but like in the car, even when you're alone, you're listening to NPR, or you're not listening to anything, or you're just not listening to books. Yeah. Like I am. But I'm reading a physical book right now, and you just can't do anything else when you're reading a physical book. And that's why I love audiobooks, because I can color, I can do dishes, I can do laundry, I can drive and be reading a book at the same time.
I grew up with both audiobooks and physical reading, but in my mind, they were separate things. Yeah. They didn't count the same way. And I think as an adult,
I used to be a naysayer too.
There's a little bit more of a graying, but I think the big distinguisher for me is if you say that you are an avid reader, but your only modality is audiobooks, that's where I start having higher scrutiny, because there's some elitism in me. That's really all it is. It's just elitism of you should be reading the physical book. And if you don't actually read a physical book in a year, you haven't read any books this year. But if you have, and then you say I read 50 books, but one of them was physical, the rest were audiobook, fine.
It would count.
It was great.
I know. It's such a weird argument, because I used to be on the side of like, it's not reading. Like you're literally not reading something. But then I thought about the comparison of, okay, if I listen to the audiobook and you read the same physical book. Yeah. And we both know the story, and we could summarize it, and we know the characters' names. I actually probably know how to pronounce the name, whereas you might not, because of the audiobook, and or just weird words that they throw in as well. I'm like, why doesn't that count? The whole point of consuming a story is to be able to summarize it, to explain, like basically just show your comprehension of it. And I'm like, if I can do that in audio, it should count. Yeah,
and I think that's a metrics thing. I can't back this up with like, here's the research on it. I'm sure it exists, but I don't have it right now. that there is a difference in how your brain is operating when you're reading a physical book versus hearing it. And the comprehension of the story might still be the same. But I think that it is a mental exercise for us when we're reading a physical book. It helps us develop our vocabulary a little bit better.
How to spell
how to
words.
spell, all of those. I think there's more benefit to our brains in physical books than maybe there is an audiobook. But I don't know. Maybe that's my elitism.
I think it's just a both. I think you need to, because I think I wouldn't have labeled myself as an auditory learner. Like, I really struggled with that in school. But I've learned that if it's fictional story, I can latch on. And what I love is that it allows me to do something with my hands, and my brain can just like kind of shut off and listen. And I really love that. And I think that can be beneficial, especially for kids, to do both of like read a physical book, because I need you to like learn how to sit in one place for a while and just consume a story, because it's cool to live in another world, but not leave your space. And then also be able to listen to the story and still comprehend, because I think that's just a valuable skill. I mean, like, you're in sermons at church. Like, you need to be able to listen and retain what they're teaching you. In school, a lot of times it's listening and trying to retain. So I think it's just working those muscles on both accounts. But yeah, I'd say I can spell a lot of words because of reading, or I know the meaning of words, or I still look up words. Like, there were some, I'm reading the Hunger Games right now, and I had to look up a word because I was like, what the heck is that? And it's,
do you remember the word?
I can find it.
Okay.
Because it's right here, because I'm so close to done. I'm so close. Look at this.
This podcast really is just an interruption to Bry's reading progress.
Yeah. Seriously, I'm so close. This is my first time reading the Hunger Games, and I love it. The word is tesserae. Tesserae, yeah. And I Googled it too. But this, they always use different things. The AI overview is like a small block of stone, tile, glass, or other material used in the construction of a mosaic. But when it, gives a suggestion of what are tesserae in the Hunger Games, it's a system of food rationing where children can trade a year's supply of grain and oil for a year's worth of food for one person.
Interesting. What a weird use of that word.
Tesserae. Yeah. But I was like, what the heck is that?
My most recent vocab word is copacetic, which is an informal word to explain everything being in nice order. So if everything's like in very nice order, and
so that's like,
it's copacetic.
Wow.
Yep.
I love that.
I know. I can't wait to use it somewhere at some point.
Well, one of us will just like clean the house, and you'll just come in and you'll just
it's
be
so
like,
copacetic. Wow. It'll be great.
And then we'll start to hear that out of our, like, at the time, like our 6-year-old's mouth or something, and she'll just be like, wow, copacetic.
I'm just really upset because all of my schoolwork isn't copacetic.
I'm still so impressed that she could define a word for me the other day. It was just amazing that she could come up with a synonym.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, you were 5. You're brilliant.
So with this idea, because you mentioned something earlier that I wanted to bounce off of, with all the different things that you do when you're doing an audiobook. Because I think there's a big difference between the things that you can do with audiobook versus all the things you can't do when reading a physical book. And I found that for me, I'll do nonfiction books in audio format more often because I just don't like all of the waffling and just random stuff they put in there. So it's nice to have like, I'm going to speed this up to 3 times before they actually talk about something important.
Got it.
But it also, like, I get eager. Like, can we just like move on to the next idea, please? And so having things to do kind of quells that eagerness. It changes too when I'm reading something or listening to something that's fiction on what activities I want to do. And so I'm curious for you, typically, how would you audiobook? And then we'll go into like ideal reading setups, because I think they require different setups, right?
So my primary mode of listening to audiobooks is my commute.
Okay.
to work. However, I do really enjoy the rare times that I get to do laundry, like just folding laundry specifically, because I just get to sit in one spot and just like fold everything and listen to a book. I honestly listen to podcasts more when I do laundry, but I do like to listen to audiobooks. And then I really like coloring or doing dishes. So it's a mix between chores and fun.
This is great.
I like listening. Well, I was going to say I like listening to audiobooks on walks. It kind of depends on if my brain needs to escape.
Yeah.
I'll listen to a book, but most of the time when I go on a walk, I actually don't listen to anything. I don't listen to music. I don't listen to audiobooks. I just listen to the outside sounds.
There's a part of me that thinks, I don't know if I could listen to an audiobook and walk at the same time. I'm sure I can, but
I'm sure
there's a little bit of doubt in my head as to whether or not I'm capable of that kind of multitasking.
I always thought that men couldn't listen and walk at the same time.
Yeah, then we should never take a walk and talk about meaningful things.
But yeah, I can pretty much, I'm trying to think.
As a kid, I did a lot of drawing. That was like or Lego. I would do a ton of Lego while I was listening to a book. Mm-hmm. I don't know if I could do that now. I think I'd be too invested into one or the other.
Yeah, I feel like that's true for you. Yeah, it really has to be a little bit mindless.
Yeah. So I think I have 2 sat to the 4th powers today.
Okay.
I have one that is just what's the most recent vocab word you've learned. So it's super fun and makes you feel smart when you have a good one. And then I think the other one would actually be maybe a 2-parter of what's the ideal setup for an audiobook and then what's the ideal setup for physical book. And the physical book one, I think it's really complex for me at least because it might change per season, like in our cozy episode we talked about. But I think also I don't like having food while I'm reading a physical book.
Oh, sure.
That really bothers me. And I don't really like having a drink either. But I would say like the cozy vibes, I would normally say, heck yeah, give me a hot bevy. Let me set up with some sort of snack. But in all realism, that's not at all what I would want for a reading setup.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, now you got to tell me what your actual setup is.
Well, I'm a little torn between a hammock out in the woods somewhere on a nice warm day, which obviously I can control all of that.
Yeah, you wouldn't want a hot drink on a hot day.
No, of course not.
Or in a hammock because it would spill on you.
And obviously I can access that whenever during the winter. It's all good. I think it would be that or in our library with candles or the childhood fantasy of just being under all of the covers but having cold air to breathe because I would always suffocate with the hot air and honestly probably suffocate because there's not a filtration system, so I'm probably just rebreathing all of my oxygen. Didn't think about that as a kid, but I think about it now. But there's something about the idea of just being so cuddled up under blankets and being in this little cave and having light and cold air. It's impossible to achieve, I think, but that would be awesome.
One of my favorites, which it's silly that it's a favorite because I've literally only gotten to do it once, but it was lovely. And that was reading on a beach in the sunshine. Actually, the beach that we were on had bean bags that we could grab. And we weren't allowed to put them in the water, but we could put them right beside the water. So I would lay on my stomach on the bean bag and I'd have my feet in the water. Yeah. And then I'd have my Kindle. And I actually like used the stand that I have on my Kindle and just like propped it up in the sand and was just like reading. Awesome. I didn't bring my clicker though. It would have been perfect to just be like.
Yeah, the clicker is the best.
Yeah, I know. We'll have to talk about our accessories for book reading in a little bit, but I didn't want to quite jump there. But
are you a layer or a sitter with reading?
I'm actually more of a sitter.
Are you?
Yeah, I would probably be hunched over in my old age from how I read. And I like all the blood drains from my arms
Yeah.
when I'm holding a book up. So there's definitely things that we've gotten to aid that. But yeah, I'm a sitter unless my neck really hurts. Then I'll lay
Yeah.
on my stomach so that I get just a little relief. But
That's a good enough segue into some of our accessories for book reading. Because,
yeah,
I mean, even that thumb thing, so it's like a little piece of wood or plastic that
Yeah.
you holds open the book. You put your thumb in it, and then you're holding that in the book, and it just keeps the book open.
I try a lot, but like it really only works if you're like in the middle of the book, it feels like.
Yeah.
Which I guess is helpful.
Unless it's one of those really great books, like my Glenn Cook
that
Black
like
Company
flaps.
books that just fall flat.
That's
Really
so
regardless.
nice.
Like the first 20 pages and the last 20 pages, it won't do that. But every other
Mhm.
page,
Yep.
so nice.
Yeah. When I am reading a physical book, until recently, I would just grab like a new tissue for my bookmark, and then
do
I
the
would
same
just like
thing.
lose it. But now that I have bookmarks, there's a handful that I have. I have like these heart ones that go on the corner of the page
Mhm.
that I really like. Although I tried using that for the book that I'm on now, and I just got annoyed for some reason. I think it's because I was reading so quickly, but also had to like keep putting my book down. And that's not an easy bookmark to put on a corner page when your toddler's like screaming at you
Yeah.
or like they just spilled something. And so I have these clips that have the automatic.
Just a little flap that goes
Yeah.
on the page.
Yeah, and it's so nice. I really like those a lot. But again, now that I'm at the end of the book, it's kind of annoying. And then I have a metal bookmark that the only thing that really bothers me about it is that it has a chain on it, but it makes me laugh so hard because engraved on it is an image of Jesus. And it just has the words, "Is this smut?" with a question mark. Like he's judging you, like, peering
leaning
around
over
the corner.
a
And
wall.
it's,
Yeah.
and it's just so funny.
Yeah. I like the idea of bookmarks, but
Yeah.
I lose them
Yeah,
all
you're
the
terrible
time.
with bookmarks.
And so I just use like a shaving of a tissue or something like that because I don't want to deface my books by putting the earmark on.
Oh yeah, I'm
That's
not an
usually
earmarker.
a sign of I don't care about this book or I'm just done. Let's get it over with.
Yeah, for sure. But also, like, for some reason, the kids love to pull out your bookmarks.
Yes, they do. They love pulling out the tissues.
Well, I mean, just in general, I feel like when you have had bookmarks before, they'll just pull them out.
Yep.
Or it's just something that falls out and it's super annoying. But okay, so I think that's all the bookmarks that we have. What are other accessories that have made reading really nice for you?
So I like your reading light. So it just clips onto the top of the book and
I
then
love my
curves
reading
over. It reminds me of the old Game Boy lights because they didn't backlight.
Yeah.
And so you'd have to get this attachment, you'd plug it in, and then it would come over and it would shine your screen.
Wow, that is an unlocked memory.
Yeah.
I really do like that though, because I've seen some other book lights, but they are more rigid.
Yeah.
Or I actually saw one recently that was like, I didn't really think it too practical, but it was kind of cool. It was like this piece of glass essentially that had like a button on it, and then you would just like put the piece of glass over your book and it would light the glass and you would just like read
It's a
through
cool
the glass.
idea. Maybe when I'm an
Yeah.
old man and I need that to magnify the words too.
If it had a magnifier, wow. If they don't have that already, we need to patent that.
We'll come back to this part of the episode in like 50 years.
Be like, we had
now
that
that
idea
we're
first."
old,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was
here's
like,
my basket of readers.
yeah, seriously.
I don't know how I'm going to survive. If I can't keep track of a bookmark, I don't know how I'm going to keep track of a reader either. Like
You just have 500 of them and
Yeah,
they're everywhere.
just
That's what
everywhere.
I've learned about
between
people who
every
use
book
readers.
is another pair of readers. Yeah.
That's really funny. But yeah, that book light is super nice.
Yeah.
And then with our Kindles specifically, we have something I have on mine that you don't have is I got a new cover for mine that has a combo. It has a strap on it so I can like hold it in one hand, which is super nice. And then it also has a stand. So when I'm like eating breakfast or something, I can just put my Kindle up on a stand.
Yeah.
And then I can just read, and I love that.
Yeah.
But there are two other things that like you got first.
Uh-huh.
And then I was like, wow, I want
Yeah, because
that.
I got this basically like a music stand
Mhm.
with a boom on it that then holds your Kindle.
Mhm.
And so I'm able to set it by our bed, and then it hangs over me, and then I can adjust it to the angle that I'm laying in bed. I can't really do it like if I'm leaning away from the stand, but I don't sleep that way anyways. And then I also got a clicker, so it just attaches to the edge of the Kindle, and it like sends out an electric pulse when you press a remote and turns the page.
Which is amazing.
And so I'll just like lay in bed and I've got like all of the comfort, and then I'm just reading and clicking, and then I can adjust where it is. And that's how I fall asleep almost every night, is halfway through a paragraph where my eyes are like, so Matthias does this. Wait, Matthias, who? And then my dreams get real weird from there too, depending on where I am. Because I'm like, did I read that? And then I go back a paragraph and I'm like, no, I made all that up.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's like your brain is like finishing
But
the
it's
book
just
for
so
you.
comfortable.
Yeah.
I think that's all the accessories that I have for the Kindle, because I
For the Kindle,
primarily read it that way.
Yeah,
I'll
you don't
set
even
it
have
up.
a case on yours.
No, I don't. Well, and it's sort of
You don't actually take your Kindle out.
No, I don't do much with my Kindle. I'll bring it on like a big trip.
Sure.
Where like if I have a 1,300 page book, I don't want to travel with that.
No.
But a lot of the time, it's
think-
just how I fall asleep.
So our brother-in-law's sister, Allison, was reading the yellow book.
Priory of the Orange Tree.
Yeah, which is just thick. And we went on a hot springs trip, and I just remember it was amazing. I was like so impressed by her wrist strength and just her arms in general, because she's sitting in the hot tub holding that chunky book.
Yeah.
Just reading away. It's just amazing. But yeah, actually, your sisters have brought their Kindles with their clickers, and they'll like just hold just their hands out of the water and put the Kindle on their stand like a little ways away and just be like, click, click, click.
I would
click.
just put the clicker in a Ziploc bag.
They actually don't. It's okay. Weird tangent. They don't ever put their hands in the water because they don't like getting the old lady fingers.
Weirdos.
Yeah, they can't stand the feeling of it. So literally everybody's sitting in the hot tub with their hands up. That's why you keep seeing pictures of that, because there's just a bunch of them sitting
That's so funny.
like this in the hot tub.
That's so funny.
I don't like cold fingers, so
I don't mind the old man fingers.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Just sitting in the water like that, but they have their clickers. I'm trying to think of any other things. I mean, just fun ones. Good candles.
Oh yeah.
Good blankets.
Yep.
Fuzzy socks.
Mm-hmm. I think neck pillows, things to like, because that, especially, I'm a layer when I read. I prefer to lay. So like the idea of being in the bed reading is the best.
No wonder when I'm always like, you want to read? You're like, yeah, let's read in bed. And I'm like,
yeah, because
no.
that's the best. And like I would normally lay on my belly with the book like on a pillow, because that's just so comfortable. I love that. But your neck gets tired. And so like having almost like memory foam pillows, if I could get that, where I have you know how they do it for toddlers, where they have a whole playground of different shapes and cushions that you can make different things out of. I want that in a smaller form that I can use for reading, where it's like, oh, my neck is in this position. Blup, 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 and now it's relaxing in that position. I don't have to move.
That'd be so nice.
It'd be so nice.
Honestly, one of my guilty pleasures is scrolling like bookish companies on Instagram where they just pack book bundles.
Oh, that's
where
fun.
it's like journals and sticky notes and pens and all the things for reading, and I just could watch them forever. And I've gotten our daughter involved a couple of times and we're like, ooh, purple. Everything's purple.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's super funny, but I love watching those.
Yeah. Well, I've found too, as with accessories, especially the ones that are helping me to read, like hold the book, I usually get really annoyed with them at a certain point and have to switch off. I don't know why, but I don't know. I'm more comfortable with my elbow cramping than having to put it on a stand and switch it every, like, you know, the ones that like have a board and you can like clamp the book down. And then when you turn the page, like,
yeah, and you have to like
I'd
lift it up.
100% rather my elbow cramp than have to use one of those. I don't know why, because they seem really convenient.
Yeah.
But
I actually just ripped one of my pages the other day because I didn't pay attention to that my bookmark was clamped on that page, and I just like
bummer.
Good thing it's a book I own. It's not from the library.
Yes. Okay, so in our environment of reading, we've done this once, and I'm curious your take on it. We went to a silent reading group, and I think I have a lot of feelings about I think it's such a lifelong activity that it's hard to say, like, this is the way that I love to read, because there's so many different ways. I'm curious, what was your take of the silent reading club?
Okay, I think mine is biased in a way because of our location and because of just my overall experience, like the combination of, so we went to Ivy Wild School, specifically the principal's office, which
is a really nice coffee shop.
Yeah. And then like across from it in their like almost lunchroom kitchen, I got these pretzel bites with this really amazing actual cheese. It wasn't just like yellow. It's just like really good cheese. And then I got this lavender lemonade. And so already my snacks were setting a vibe, and it was just life-giving. And then the book that I was reading, I can't remember what it was, but I was like, I'm in this book. Like, we are here for this. And I really liked it. The parts that I didn't like is that we ended up sitting at a table.
Yeah.
And then the lighting was low, and I hadn't yet had my book light. And I didn't have my Kindle that is backlit. And so I struggled with just like literally reading my book. And we actually went on an off week where only a handful of people showed up. So like where I think normally they have 30 members there or more, we had like 6. And so we had a really limited view of what I have seen in pictures recently.
Oh, okay. Maybe we should try it again.
I think I would love to. They have different locations now, though. It's not always at the same place. But anyways, I liked it because it was cool. I didn't actually care so much for talking about my books after. I just liked having a place to go where everybody was reading and snacking. And that was what I loved about it. But I guess I could try to make more friends or something.
At a group that's probably catering to introverts.
Yeah. But I liked it. I would like to try again.
Sure.
And to your point earlier about like you not wanting to eat during reading, especially if it's like a physical book. I've seen a lot of people on Reels recently with chopsticks feeding themselves while they're reading or even scrolling their phone because they'll be eating like Cheetos and they'll be like.
See, for me, I'm realizing even in this conversation, my postures when I'm reading are the important part.
Your elbow can be stuck in one position forever, but it cannot hinge to grab food.
Yeah, it's the process of like, I want to read my book like this. I don't want to have to maneuver anything else. And I don't want to have to set it down to read because then I guess I'm just bad at multitasking because I have to look where I'm grabbing food from. I think the only thing that I didn't enjoy about the silent reading club was the posture of, I think I'm a pretty ragamuffin reader where
you needed a couch to lay down.
I need to be able to lay down on the couch. I need to be able to like sit upside down. I need to be able to adjust. I need to be able to like feel comfortable laying in very non-attractive positions.
Upside down on a bed.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And so I think that it just felt like I now have to
be a prim and
have
proper
decorum
reader.
while I read. And I'm not a Victorian
good
woman.
vocab word.
Thank you.
If you didn't already have a word for your table talk conversation, now you do.
Decorum. Can I define it? No. Did I use it appropriately?
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Ooh, maybe we should do an episode on words, like something like that, where it wouldn't work, actually.
Well, I'm willing to try it with you.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, so we always end with some sort of edification. And I think mine's going to be both an appreciation of you and a highlight of a change in you since meeting you. Because I think when we first met, I was the bigger reader. And I just grew up with that value system instilled in me, like my mom knowing I had dyslexia, nailed it into me that we're readers, and it stuck, and I love reading, and my dyslexia is way better because of it. And so when we met, you weren't opposed to reading. Like, you still read occasionally, but it wasn't a big thing for you. And over the past several years, I've seen now where I can't compete with you because you're binging books, and you like start one 2 days ago, and then you're like, look how far I am, and you're like, done.
We need to do that same Instagram challenge.
So annoying. No, we don't, because it's going to make me feel so bad to sit and read the same book with you for a day and see you finish it and me be on like chapter 2.
I think that you would not be on chapter 2.
I don't think
you're
I'd
not
be
as
that
slow
low.
as that guy.
No,
He's
I'm
very
not.
slow.
But I also love reading with you. I like that you read. Especially like, I'm sure it shows up in your romance books, but a lot of the times in mine too, which I think is informed by value systems, there's this real romanticizing of the readers, or like, it's so-and-so in the corner reading a book. Aren't they so attractive just because of that? And then there's, things that our brain does when we read a lot too, which I think changes the way that we interact with the world and how we talk to people. And I think there's meaning and substance behind just the appearance of the reader. I think readers are hot because of how they think and how they're processing. And so I think you've become a lot hotter too as you've become that reader. And it's really fun for me to look at some of those books that are romanticizing readers and then look over and see that you've finished a book while I was reading this one chapter.
I really don't think you're as slow of a reader as you think you are. You at least can type faster than I can. So
that's true. At least on a typewriter. What's your words per minute on a keyboard?
Nowhere near Rebecca's.
Well, yeah, mine aren't near Rebecca's. I'm only at like 60.
I'd have to take the test again. I
We'll
don't
do
remember.
that again sometime.
Then you'll show me up for sure. But I was going to say the one thing that I've loved about our reading is that it's become our hobby. Like, I think that's really cool to have our hobby.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, like you said, it's not like I didn't read prior to, but it's like, I think even our youth pastor, Hannah, used us in a sermon the other day, using us as an example of like, when you walk into Trever and Bry's house and the books on their shelves is the first thing you see, you think, oh man, these guys are readers. And that's like part of their identity. That's part of who they are. And I just think that that's cool because that's an us thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like they couldn't say like Trever is a reader.
Yeah.
In and of himself, because he is. But it's just cool that that's like a unification thing for us.
Twins.
We get to do it together. Twins.
Yeah.
Twinsies.
I like being twinsies with you. And I like our library. I like the library that we have built and the shared books.
I am dreaming of a bigger library.
And then it's really nice too, because somebody comes in and they're like, have you read all of these books? And I'm able to say, well, some of them are Bry's. And I don't even have to answer the question.
That's actually really clever.